Hey guys, it's Casey Ann. It's been 7 months since I last filmed a video, and I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about a lot of changes. Sorry, my cat just barged in the room. That have actually gone on. A lot of good and bad things have happened. Um, but I wanted to kind of dive in and actually get to talk to you guys about one of the most biggest changes. So, one of those big things is that you guys have met him on previous videos. If you haven't, I would go back to my old ones. I'm not tech smart, so I don't know how to link it in my description, but if you go around to my old photos or my old videos, you will notice that there is a guy in the video. At the time, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and then we got engaged. And as of April 10th, 2021, this year, we actually got married. So I'm a married woman. But before then, I turned 21 on February, or in February, I guess. And I got really, really sick. Don't really know why. I thought I was having what my mom actually has, which is called gastritis. And before I continue, yes, I am in a bathrobe. It's freaking cold right now in my apartment. It's actually really hot outside, but it's freezing in my apartment. So you just ignore that, okay? Just completely ignore the get up. This is coming off. Makeup's a mess. I'm a mess. We're a mess, okay? We just got back from the honeymoon. So I got really sick and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why I was throwing up. I couldn't keep anything down. I was constipated, throwing up literally every 5-10 minutes for days. I had the worst stomach pains, and my breasts had been hurting really bad. They felt really heavy and really sore and tender. I couldn't wear a bra. I couldn't drink any water. I couldn't eat any food. I couldn't go to the bathroom. It was a complete freaking mess. And like I said, I didn't know what was going on. Side note, I have been told for years that I could not have a kid. So being pregnant was not on my mind, because I'd been told by two different doctors that no, I couldn't have a kid. And I'm going to explain it further, as to why I was told that, and then the difficulties I have now today. So, um, towards the end of February, after my husband and I turned 21, at the time we were still, fiancés, we were still engaged. I ended up going to the doctors, and the one doctor misdiagnosed me with gastritis. If you don't know what it is, it's like, well, Google it. Google it because I'm shitty at explaining things. And then I ended up going to the emergency room because I was so severely dehydrated. My eye whites started turning yellow, like really yellow, and I looked super, super sick. It had been weeks since I was able to like poop because I was so constipated and I wasn't able to keep any food down. So I actually lost 14 pounds. I know, it doesn't seem realistic. It really is. I was throwing up nonstop and I couldn't gain any weight. I couldn't eat any food, nor could I retain any water. I was just throwing up every time I ate or drank anything. So I go to the hospital, because my parents are worried about me, my fiance is worried about me, and I'm worried about myself. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm not even able to take the medicine that they were trying to prescribe me for gastritis. They could not get a urine sample out of me. As I said, I was so severely dehydrated, I literally couldn't pee for them. So they did a blood test. They stuck an IV and filled me up full of fluids. First off, I was so dehydrated, it took 4 saline bags just to get me to okay level. That's how dehydrated I was. And then they drew blood, to test me for gastritis and anything else that might have been causing any of these issues. Come to find out, I did not have gastritis. I was misdiagnosed and I'm pregnant. So this came to a complete surprise to me, obviously, because I couldn't have kids and I didn't believe the doctors. So my exact words to him were, "I'm not fucking pregnant." Yep, I said that. I I definitely did. And I kind of felt like a whole ass because when he explained to me, urine tests can lie to you. Your urine can lie to you. If you have certain bacterial infections in your urine, it can actually come up positive on a pregnancy test that you're pregnant and you may not be, as well as decline your pregnancy if you are. But a blood test, when you get your blood drawn, it's always right. Your blood doesn't lie to you, but your urine can. A home pregnancy test can lie to you, but a blood test can't. Like, it's not going to. So I found out I was pregnant, and I was 5 weeks and 6 days the day I found out I was pregnant. So that means I had conceived sometime mid-January and didn't find out until late February 26th is the exact date that I found out I was pregnant. I called my mom. She came over, obviously, rushed over to the hospital as fast as possible. They still had me hooked up to IV fluids because, like I said, I was so dehydrated. I was on my 5th or 6th bag at this time. Was finally able to go home later on that day, but not until later. I was really stressed out and really scared because financially I didn't think that we could afford to have a kid, but I personally couldn't go through with an abortion, not because I don't believe in it. Okay, I'm pro-choice, it's up to you, but I personally couldn't go through it, especially since this was my lifelong dream of becoming a mom. So my mom and I went to the store and bought some things to come out to my family, to my dad and to my fiance, that guess what? Surprise, we're pregnant. And the reaction on my dad's face was priceless, but the reaction on my fiance Silas's face was beyond what I could have expected. He just had the greatest, biggest, most beautiful smile on his face and get emotional. It was better than anything that I could have ever imagined. It was the greatest response that I could have ever asked for. Wasn't necessarily the way I wanted to find out that I was pregnant, from like nearly fucking dying, feeling sick, literally sick to my stomach, and so dehydrated and constipated, but now I understand why. Um, and I wasn't ready to tell everybody that I was pregnant right away, so I waited a little while and then came out, and people were very happy for me. Some friends were really happy for me, a family were happy for me. But the struggles with pregnancy that I have found is that a lot of the friends that you are friends with before you get pregnant actually stop being friends with you. They kind of just lose interest. And I don't know if it's just because you become a mom and now you no longer drink, you don't party, you don't smoke, you don't do drugs, you're not doing the things that you used to. And not to mention, you are sick. Morning sickness is real. It's not for everybody. Like, not every pregnant person has morning sickness, but I definitely had it really bad. I was also very, very, very tired. I was always sleeping, and still to this day, I'm pretty tired all the time. I sleep a lot. I eat a lot. I cry a lot about a lot of weird, random things that don't make any sense at all. But I stopped smoking pot, I stopped drinking, I stopped doing all of that crazy things. And in doing so, I lost a lot of friends that I actually saw pretty regularly. So that was very lonely and very hard for me. But I've kind of come to terms with it now since I am 13 weeks pregnant as of today, this Saturday. So, you kind of get used to it. It still sucks. It's still very lonely, but I do have a very great support system. My mom and my dad and my husband now are all very, very, very supportive. We had planned to get married pretty much right after. So we found out April 26th. My fiance found out February 26th, and we decided to bump the wedding that was scheduled for September of this year to April 10th. And it was kind of a spur of the moment random decision, but I wanted to fit into my wedding dress before I had gotten too big. I will show you a little bump. we're there. It's not incredibly big yet. As I said, like, I'm only 13 weeks. I'm not even in my second trimester yet, but I do have a bump, as I am showing pretty early like my mom did, so that's that. Um, but yeah, that's how I'm doing. That's kind of what's been happening. I'm pregnant and I've been going through a lot of changes. I can't find work. It's really hard to find work, especially during COVID, because COVID hit and it hit hard. And then, trying to employ a pregnant person who is going to eventually need to go on maternity leave is very difficult. Not to mention, I am high risk and I will be high risk my entire pregnancy, and I'm about to explain why. So I have been diagnosed with this mass. I don't even know what it was called. I don't know what the thing is called even to this day, but I was diagnosed with a mass the size of half of a lemon. So it's like cut a lemon in half. There's the mass. It's about that big, probably, maybe a little bit bigger. It's been in my cervix for the last 3 years, 3 or 4 years, and they never removed it. It was not cancerous. At least when they first tested it, it wasn't. However, now that I'm pregnant, my baby is the same size as the mass itself. So I had a procedure done a couple of days ago where they did take part of the mass that they now consider a tumor out of my cervix. It was just a tiny, tiny little piece. However, that could have potentially caused a miscarriage. So we won't know how baby is doing for a few more days when I go to my next appointment to get the baby monitored, heart rate, weight, and everything checked. I don't know the gender. I won't know the gender until I'm 20 weeks, so don't ask. But you can put your assumptions in the comments. You can tell me what you think I'm having or what you wish I could have. I personally want a boy because having a girl in this day and age is a challenge and it's scary. And being a woman myself that gets catcalled and harassed on the streets every day, it sucks. And I don't want my kid to go through that. But I would love a little girl to have like my red hair and freckles, and I think she would just be so beautiful. But I'm cool with either. Honestly, I'm so supportive and so happy just to be pregnant because I know that a lot of women can't. But I am very scared as that tumor could be cancerous. It has spread, it has separated, and now I have a tiny hole in my cervix that causes a lot of pain. I'm not able to lift anything right now or carry heavy items. I'm not allowed to exercise. I can barely go on walks as of right now, just to limit the stress and trauma that my vagina and cervix have gone through. Sorry if that's TMI for you guys. I just want to be honest, and if anybody else has gone through it, maybe they can relate to it. So that's been a challenge. That's been a little difficult. I did have to sign fatal paperwork to make sure that during the procedure, if I lost the baby, I couldn't sue them, which sucked because I don't know why they didn't take the tumor out a long time ago, back when they first found it, but whatever, we're working on that process next. Now it's just kind of recovery. It's kind of just accepting the fact that I do have a tumor in my cervix that could or could not be, may or may not be cancerous. I am trying to have a positive attitude because stress is not good for pregnancy. It's not good for the fetus or the baby in general. And trying to be positive is just a good way to look at life. I am trying my very, very best. It is very hard. I do have moments where I'm just really, really scared. During my procedure, before it actually happened, I did get to hear baby's heartbeat. It was beating very fast, very healthy, sounded really good. But that could have changed during the procedure because I wasn't able to get an ultrasound hearing for the heartbeat or whatever those are called. I couldn't hear the heartbeat afterwards. So we won't know anything until a few days, in a few days when my appointment is. Not trying to make this video super long, but that is the biggest update that I have on for you guys. We did get married, so I am married. We are planning on bringing baby here to this apartment for a little while and then planning to buy our own house. I'm excited. I hate this apartment. Hate it with my dear freaking with every ounce of my body. We have had two roommates now. Both suck. One being a girl that I will never, ever, ever, ever have a roommate that's a girl again. Can't stand it. Two hormonal women on their periods and just going through different shit in life is not fun at all. And then living with another man that is messy and lazy and a kind of a slob is just also not great. Not saying we're the cleanest people, not saying that we have OCD perfectly, but I would just rather live with my husband and now my baby alone. So that's the plan. In August, we will no longer have a roommate and it will just be us. So I've got some time to try really hard to find a job that will temporarily take me in until the baby is born. No, we haven't had any names. No, we haven't had any decisions on the best boy name or the best girl name or the themes or anything like that. We are just taking it day by day. I don't want to get my hopes up too high. I don't want to think too much of it. I just want to kind of take it day by day and see how I do as well as the baby. For people out there that might judge me, I want to say before I do express what I'm about to, I got an A-OK from my doctor and was told to minimize my intake, but was told I could. I still do use recreational marijuana, and however, I use it medically now, even though I don't have my medical marijuana license or certificate, I use it medically. So, with being pregnant, I was diagnosed with hyperemesis gravidendum, which heightens and intensifies the nausea and things like that. It also gives you dizziness and makes you really fatigued. I struggle really, really hard with the dizziness part. So I do faint randomly at any time if I get overstimulated. A certain smell could trigger the HG, and I could literally just tip over and faint, which is very dangerous, hence why I am and will be high risk my entire pregnancy. But I am trying to take it pretty easy. I'm trying to be very careful with what I smell, what I eat, where I'm at. If I'm in a stressful situation, I try and eliminate the stress by walking away or just trying to put an end to the argument or the issue so that I don't have to deal with it and neither does the baby. What else? I am thinking about going back to school. I don't know when. I think I'd have to wait until a baby is born just because I do have a lot of other financial burdens that I'm gonna have to pay for. Having a kid is very expensive. Even going to doctor's appointments, I'm already well over $1,200 in debt just from the appointments and will continue to be in debt throughout these appointments. So money is going to be probably my biggest issue, but I am thinking about going back to school. I am also thinking about going for early childhood development and children and adults with disabilities. I want to get my certificate so that I can help my brother who has autism and Asperger's syndrome and a bunch of other stuff so that I can help him better his career and better his future in life. But in order to do that, I have to have a certificate to help with that for like med management and things as such. I am in the process of working on my car. My car did a kaput and died on me. That was no fun. So now I have to rely on my mother's car for doctor's appointments, which really sucks because her car scares me because it's very sensitive. It's a very nice car, which is why I don't want to wreck it. I'd rather beat the shit out of my car, knowing that it's my car and it's already old and there's already scrapes and dents in it, rather than my mom's nice new like Honda. So that's fun. As for my mental health, I am not doing the greatest, but I'm trying my best to take it one day at a time. That's why I use some marijuana to help with my mood swings, to help me give it an appetite, help me sleep, and to calm my nausea down quite a lot. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the name Zofran. It is a medication for nausea, but I have been taking it, and it causes constipation, which is what pregnant women struggle with. I am struggling still with the constipation. So I only take it once a day, but sometimes, and with the procedure and the pain that I have endured and I am going to encounter, it is so difficult to eat. I also struggled with anorexia before I got pregnant and had body dysmorphia disorder. So eating is still one of those really hard things that I have to come to terms with and cope with. So I do use marijuana to help me get an appetite, to help me sleep and calm down and de stress so that I'm not overworking my body and I'm still able to give my baby the proteins and nutrients that I need while I eat. So don't come for me. Like I said, my doctor did say that I could in moderation. I usually use gummies now instead of actually smoking. Smoking is not good for pregnancy in general, whether it's tobacco or nicotine, or tobacco or any type of form of nicotine or even marijuana usage. It's not healthy. So I use a different version and I just use some cool little gummies that taste amazing to help me with that. And they don't get me so high where I'm unable to do anything or I'm unable to comprehend and communicate. It just gets me to the point where I notice the change in the pain. I notice that I get tired or I'm happier or that my hunger has risen. So I do end up getting an appetite. But as of now, that's pretty much all my updates that I have for you guys. I got married and pregnant. My cat's doing wonderful now. We're about to get rid of the roommate to start our own life, and husband's doing really well. He got a new job. That's pretty awesome. We're pretty excited for that. It's another construction job, but it's something that he actually likes. So, yeah, we're doing okay. We're doing well. The only sad parts is I lost a lot of friends, and um COVID has changed a lot of stuff. So, with my plans for delivery, it's not going to be the way I've wanted it, and having the people that I've wanted there won't be able to come. Um, Even parts of delivery, my husband may not even be allowed in the room, which is really, really devastating for me. But I'm trying to be positive and hope for the best. And then with the tumor, fingers crossed it's non-cancerous. If it's non-cancerous, they won't need to remove it until baby is born and after I've recovered. If it is cancerous, we will be working on plans and challenges then, but I'm not going to stress about it until I find out for sure what it is and what's gonna be happening. So, fingers crossed, best wishes, positive vibes. You can send your prayers my way. I will gladly soak it up and bathe in it like a bathtub full of love and comfort. Um, and yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk to you guys about and give you an update on. I hope you guys are doing really well. I've definitely missed you guys, and I will for sure be posting more because I want you to stay a part of my pregnancy. I wasn't sure when I wanted to come back onto YouTube, especially when it comes to the pregnancy, but with the hopes of all things turning out okay and baby being all right, I will for sure keep you guys updated and you'll get to see bump dates. And you guys, if you want to know some of my symptoms or my issues that I've gone through with pregnancy, feel free to ask them in the comments and let me know so that way I can make another video answering all of your questions. I will write them down so that I can make sure that everybody's question gets answered. But besides that, I hope you guys are having a beautiful Saturday, and hope you had a good Easter too. I had a really good Easter. I was really crampy and really upset and like really hungry, but like I had a really good Easter. So, yeah, I miss you guys and I love you guys, and stay positive. Women, stay safe. Men, watch yourself. Kids, careful what you post on the internet. It's really dangerous out here, and I will talk to you guys very soon. I promise. Okay, like I promise. I'll be back. I won't wait 7 months to a year just to post again. But I hope you guys are doing okay, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.